Good day, Amherstburg. It's myself, Laura D'Alessandro.
And it's Ron Giofu from the Rivertown Times in Amherstburg, back here on the airways of 107.9 FM for the Rivertown Times Week in Review.
And what a week it's been, eh, Ron? You've been to council, you've been to golf tournaments, you've been to a bike rodeo, you've been everywhere. Music off the back porch. You're living quite a full life.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just, it's a varied menu of assignments that I had this week. And
never know
as
where
it usually is.
Yeah.
From meetings to more fun stuff. Yeah, I was out and about and taking her all in.
We were just talking before we went on there that Terrence performed at Music Off the Back Porch.
And did a fine job.
He did he?
He did.
Oh, thanks for saying that.
You pay us well.
I got the raw evidence here with you, Ron, so thank you.
And it was a fairly good turnout.
Yeah, about 20, 25 people, roughly. Yeah, that's about what they usually get. You know, it's a great fundraiser for the Park House. Mark your calendars for August 15th. That's the next Music Off the Back Porch. More details to come on that. But the most recent one, Doc and the Rev, which is, of course, Terrence and his lovely wife, the Reverend Shirley Carlton from St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church. They got up and did a wonderful job. Dave Wilson also was there. He did a great job. And, yeah, it was just a nice night of music all around. John McDonald was up there and did some songs. His wife Liz got up there, did a couple numbers. And
maybe we should do an act.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
everybody else seems to be coupling up and performing. We're quite the dynamic duo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's
a magic show.
There you go. A ventriloquist act. We can fight over which one of us is the dummy. And,
well, it's not much of a fight, but I just don't know where your hand would go.
Yeah, I'll just leave that one there. Thanks.
Okay, well, we're going to turn our attention to the paper.
A more serious topic.
On a more serious topic, that's right. Turning our attention to the paper, Town Council met Monday night. Many items were on the agenda, but the major topic of discussion was the future of the General Amherst High School, and Council has made the decision to allow Valenti to move forward with their proposed plans.
The official plan amendments were approved on Monday night. It was a lengthy debate. I found it actually, the debate moved well. It's actually a very important topic and one I found interesting. I mean, there were concerns about parking and concerns about traffic, lighting, and those sorts of things. Those things are still going to be worked on. At least the attempt is going to be made through the site plan control process. The town doesn't have a whole lot of say anymore in the site plan control process due to provincial legislation, but that's the way it is, but they're going to see if they can work with the developer, the Valenti Development Corporation, on some of those issues. But the project is going ahead, and that includes some residential units, some mixed-use commercial, and an 8-story tower and an 11-story tower. What was not discussed was the town hall or the future of Bill Weigel Park. Those discussions will be happening at a later date. So we'll wait and see on the future of Town Hall and Weigel Park. Those were not part of the discussions Monday night. What was part of the discussion was the actual building itself and what it's going to look like, and they're going to go forward with the 11 and 8-story towers. Height, obviously, one of the concerns, but it was explained also during the process, those extra 3 stories, like 8 stories is allowed by right in the official plan, and the 9th, 10th, and 11th stories, I guess, from what I understand, will not go from basically across the building, fully across the building. It's kind of a tapered effect, where the 9th story is a little bit smaller than the 8th, and the 10th is smaller than the 9th, and the 11th is smaller than the 10th. So it's going to be kind of tiered back, and it's a go. And I know Valenti and the corporation, and there's actually family members there as well of Peter Valenti, and I could hear them cheering as they left Town Hall, and they were pretty happy. I mean, I know there's other folks that, you're never going to make everyone happy. There's other folks that are still concerned. It's a major construction project, but one that's going to be going forward at 130 Sandwich Street South, otherwise known as the former General Amherst High School property. I'm
excited for it. Like you say, you can't make everybody happy, but if not this, then what? I don't want to see it sit there and decay, and how lucky we are. I don't know if it was Pete Courtney that said, schools aren't something that are typically bought up. A lot of them sit abandoned for a very long time. So to have this landmark in our town that somebody, grabbed the chance to own and to redevelop, I think we're very, very fortunate that somebody has stepped up with that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. I mean, if everything goes according to plan at this point, there's going to be pre-sales. There's going to be and they're going to be looking at possibly, if all goes to plan, everything goes well, and possibly starting construction in spring of 2026.
Wow, and after that far away.
Not really, no. It's then it would go take about 2 years, I think he said, to complete. So It's still going to be a while yet, but we could see some movement on the project possibly in the spring of next year.
Well, that's very exciting, and I know you'll be along for the ride, keeping us all informed.
And I'll do my absolute best, as I always do.
What else was talked about at Council Run? I know there were some other delegates that spoke about some issues that they're seeing around town.
There was talk about a new service Amherstburg plan. We'll have more details on that in next week's issue. Then lots of stuff was on the agenda. It was about a 3-hour meeting in total. I mean, obviously the 130 Sandwich Street South debate was a big part of that, and another big part of that, which I thought might generate a little bit more discussion, but it really didn't, was the issue of the former Centennial Park. The town set about $530,000 aside in the budget, in the 2025 budget, but they didn't get a provincial grant they were hoping to get. There was an option for, multiple options for what to do with the town share. And that was maybe make, one tennis court, one multi-use court, a combination thereof, maybe a couple tennis courts, a couple multi-use courts, possibly a walking trail, maybe do part of the parking lot. But in the end, it was deferred. It's none of the above for the moment, at least because as the report said, they really couldn't do much in the way of construction there anyways this year. By the time you get, we're already in July, by the time you go through a tendering process and everything else and account for bad weather and that sort of thing, and getting later and later in the season, they probably wouldn't be able to get any actual construction done this year anyway. So they're going to defer it till the 2026 budget and, see if they can tack on to that dollar figure they've already set aside, or, maybe get third-party funding and maybe donations and in-kind donations and that sort of thing, and maybe take another kick at the can next year and, maybe start some redevelopment of H. Murray Smith Centennial Park next year. And but right now it's deferred until budget deliberations, and those are usually held later in the fall, in and around the time of November.
And also there was residents from Fraserville that came forward with some concerns.
There were talk about an alley and that sort of thing, and so we'll be following that up. Admittedly, I got to play a little bit of catch up on that debate. And
it was back and forth. Like, I listened to it. I had a hard time kind of following it.
Yeah,
all the way around.
A lot of that debate, I was out in the hall following up, doing post-debate interviews and stuff with people involved with the 130 Sandwich Street debate. So admittedly, I missed some of the debate on the alley, but don't worry, thanks to the...
I don't think that's ever happened. You're not on the know of something.
Yeah, the modern convenience of streaming meetings and posting it to the town website. I get to rewatch the debate and get caught up on it and follow that up from there. So
more to come.
More to come on this issue, that's for sure.
Residents of the 6th Concession North are pleading with the town to make some necessary improvements to the road sooner than later, claiming that the road is just unsafe the way it is.
Yeah, there were some concerns. I spoke to some of the residents out that way, and they're not overly thrilled with the condition of the roadway, and so they've started a petition. So we got a story on that on page 3 of this week's RTT, and they're saying it's quite unsafe to go up and down the road. I know I spoke with one couple. They're seniors. They live out that way, and they say their friends don't even want to visit them anymore because they're afraid to drive on the roadway. As it stands now, engineering work on the project's not until 2028, and the full reconstruction of Concession 6 North, and we're talking about the stretch between Alma Street and Middle Side Road, and that's Middle Side Road is, of course, also County Road 10. So they want that stretch to be completely redone and made safer to drive on. And the town's saying, I talked to Mayor Prue, and he's saying, yeah, I admit it, the concession roads, a lot of them are pretty bad. But he's saying they're trying to get caught up on them. They're trying to work on them, and there's only so much money to go around. But the residents of the Concession 6 North want to see that project bumped up. They want to see more action done on that project, and they want to see it sooner rather than later. They're saying it's tough to drive on. They're saying when they leave, they don't even want to take the stretch from their driveway out to Alma. They go towards Middle Side Road instead. They feel it's a little bit easier to drive on, a little bit safer to drive on, so they do that instead when they got to come into town. So we'll see where that goes. I'm sure it'll probably be brought up again by the sounds of it. We'll have to wait till November for budget deliberations, but there is an online petition at change.org entitled Fix the 6th. I haven't checked it this morning, but when we went to press yesterday morning, they had about 440 signatures or so on it already, so it is gaining some traction, and we'll see where that goes if they got to come to council with the petition, how long they keep that going. But they are looking for action on Concession 6 North, saying it's going getting to be pretty bad. They said a lot of the traffic when the bridge at Howard and Middle Side Road, or County Roads 9 and 10, was out last year and getting replaced. That diverted a lot of traffic down the 6th. That contributed to the road starting to crumble a bit further. But again, the town's saying, hey, you know what? We had a lot of projects on the go. There's only so much money. There's only so many resources. And we have the full story on page 3, pardon me. That's on page 3 of this week's issue of the Rivertown Times, about the 6th. And it's also on our website at www.rivertowntimes.com.
Turning our attention back to the front page of the paper, the Amherstburg Bike Rodeo, presented by Families First and the Windsor Police Amherstburg Detachment, returned last Sunday, and it was out at the funeral home on Sandwich Street. And it looked like there was quite a good turnout. I know you were there covering it, but also as a member of the Rotary Club of Amherstburg. They did the cooking, I think, the barbecuing, did they?
Yeah, Rotary did the barbecue, and I helped out with that. I'm still an honorary Rotarian. I become official in about a couple of weeks or so. But
next week?
Yeah.
Week from today?
Yeah, so the 23rd I'm due to be inducted. But anyways, getting back to the bike rodeo, we went through a lot of water, a lot of juice boxes, a lot of hot dogs. And
was that just you?
A lot of freezies, a couple. Windsor Police was there, the auxiliary was there, Flow Cafe, and I shouldn't really start listing them. There's too many to mention. They had about 10 community partners or so that helped out Families First, and the Windsor Police Service Amherstburg Detachment. Whoever was there, I mean, everyone is thanked. And again, great turnout. People were still coming in, and later in the event, it was only about 3 hours, but from about 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. But it was well attended throughout. They had some classic Corvettes even on site. The fire department was there, and letting kids tour fire trucks, and bike raffles, and all kinds of fun stuff, and all with the goal of making it a bit safer for kids as they ride around on their bikes. Obviously, we see a lot of children and adults out on their bikes, and this time of year, summer is obviously cycling season, spring, summer, and fall. So, they're just learning some tips on how to be more careful, how to ride their bikes safely, and they got their bikes inspected, make sure they're up to speed, in good shape. And obviously, this is yet another reminder for drivers out there in your cars, just be aware of cyclists and pedestrians and that sort of thing, and let's keep the roads safe and make sure everyone can use them properly, safely, and everyone can get along and coexist quite nicely.
Did you take the training wheels off your bike at the rodeo?
I didn't. No, I had my little helmet on. Pedal, get over that ramp.
Your basket and your elbow pads.
Yeah, ringing my bell. Ching, 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 ching. But,
that's how you should go out and cover the news. Just ride your bike.
Exactly. Yeah, just kind of ride around. And
imagine how sweaty you would be.
Oh,
oh my Lord.
I don't think the listeners really want to envision that.
I don't. Sorry about that, especially at lunchtime.
Not a pretty sight, yeah.
Speaking of you being sweaty, you've been hitting the links. You've been to 3 different golf courses over the course of the last week. You were at the Ed Jovanovski Charity Golf Tournament. You were at the House Youth Center Community Cup and the Community Living Charity Golf Classic. And you didn't hit one golf ball, did you?
I did not. I don't golf, but I cover golf tournaments. And I was at 2. One of our freelancers was at the other one. And the Ed Jovanovski tournament raised $180,000 split between 3 charities.
That's amazing.
Community Living hasn't got a final total yet, but they are hoping to top $24,000, which was a record from last year. That goes to summer supports for youth and children supported by Community Living Essex County. And the House Community Cup, they have a new champion this year, and more details on that in this week's issue, because apparently the last champs reigned for 5 years in a row.
Oh, my word.
So they got new champs this year. So and they, of course, helps operation of the House Youth Center, which, of course, meets out of the Amherstburg Community Hub at 320 Richmond Street. So a lot of great community events and community golf tournaments. 'Tis the season, of course, and I'm sure there's even more golf tournaments to come. And I should mention the 3 charities the Ed Jovanovski tournament benefits, and they each will get $60,000. It's the Hospice of Windsor Essex County, the Alzheimer's Society of Windsor Essex County, and the Princess Margaret Cancer Center, the latter being for breast cancer research. Great job done by all, and we'll be, I'm sure, covering even more golf tournaments as the summer and fall progress.
If you think about it, we don't have totals for all of the tournaments, but that's almost $250,000.
Yeah, people are generous.
That's crazy.
A lot of these golf tournaments have loyal followings.
Yeah.
And it's not just the tournament itself. It's the dinners, it's the raffles, it's the 50-50s, it's silent auctions, all the stuff that goes into a golf tournament. The organizers of these things work hard, do a lot of work behind the scenes that I'm sure a lot of people don't see. thank you to all of them, and let's keep helping out those in need.
And speaking of golf tournaments, the Mission, the Food and Fellowship Mission, their golf tournament is August 16th at Dominion. If you're looking to sponsor, they have title sponsors they're looking for, whole sponsorships, or if you're looking to put in to play, if you have a foursome, a twosome, if you yourself just want to play, you can reach out to their website. It's abergmission.ca, or you can call the Mission. It's 519-736-9140.
I know that you can sign up on Eventbrite.
Oh, that's right.
And there's also QR codes on the posters that are around town. We're going to get one in the paper as soon as we can, and we're going to get some up on our social media sites as well. But the posters are actually, if you're in and around our office, I know there's one up on our window. There's one on the bulletin board down the hall within the Heritage Square Plaza. So if you're in the plaza, coming to our office, getting your license renewed, going to the Marsh Collection, getting your computer fixed, or getting a prescription, or one of the other services that are offered in our plaza at 80 Richmond Street, to keep an eye out for the poster and the QR code.
Local author John Schlarbaum has written a new book, The Music Virgin No More, Confessions of a Young Record Collector.
I know he was he was quite busy with doing interviews last Wednesday. He met with me at the office, and we met down to Vintage and Vinyl down on Murray Street, the record store there. And I know he was on the airwaves here at 107.9 FM The Berg, and doing some on-air promotion of the book. It's a little bit of a change from his usual mystery novels, but John has recalled the days of him, making charts as a youth, and top 15 charts, top 10 charts, similar to what was in the magazines of the time, and doing his own rankings of top singles, top albums. So he brought those out and turned it into book form, and I know he's got a podcast. He's one of Jason Kavanaugh, a friend of his. They team up on a Music Virgins, plural, Music Virgins No More podcast. So the book is a companion piece to that. And it's $15, available at Vintage and Vinyl over on Murray Street, also available at River Bookshop, and also available on Amazon. So if you want to pick up John's latest title, it is available, and I'm sure he'd appreciate it. And again, it's just a trip down memory lane to the late 70s, early 80s, and I think even in the mid 80s, but more so early 80s. Some of the things he was listening to on AM radio back in the day, and some of the top music of the era. It's a great read, and pick it up in town or online, and more details on the story in this week's issue of the Rivertown Times.
Turning our attention to sports, local athlete and University of Windsor student Reese Sherman had completed his first decathlon. Decathlon, pardon me. And he did so well, he's heading to the Nationals later this month.
Yeah, he finished third in the meet. He was in the Athletics Ontario meet. Full details on page 11 of this week's issue of the Rivertown Times, or by scrolling down on our website and checking out the sports portion of rivertowntimes.com. So check that out. Congratulations to Reese, and I covered him not so long ago at North Star High School. He's one of those athletes that involved in a number of different sports, and he's continuing that at the University of Windsor. So great job by him, his coaches, and his teammates. In decathlon, it's even thinking about doing a decathlon.
I couldn't even say it.
It tires me out. It's 10 different track and field events spread over 2 days, and it's like hurdles, sprints, discus.
Have you done 10 events in your life?
Probably not. I would need a step ladder to get over the hurdles, so that pretty much disqualifies me from that event.
Good for him. That's exciting.
And leaping into the high jump, I can go under a high jump bar,
like a limbo?
but I can maybe limbo underneath it. But to actually be a good athlete like Reese, and you can tell how good he is by reading the story of this week's RTT. It's just an amazing job, an amazing commitment by these athletes and these coaches. So check out the story in this week's RTT.
All right, turning our attention to the weekend. This weekend is the Art Crawl. There's a social ticketed event that's going to be held Friday night, and then everything that's being held Saturday and Sunday is free, and it's the downtown kind of open air footprint. I think also is the Black History Museum included in this? It is.
They have what's called, part of it is called the Unleash Tour.
Oh, right.
And that's where you get to go to various different sites on your own. There are guided tours, I believe one on Saturday at 2 and another Sunday at 1. That started right at Hotel Story. That's where the social is, by the way, in case you're going Friday night. But the Unleashed tour is you can get what they call passports. You can download them, from artamherstburg.ca, which is their official website. And you can download those initials and go in for a Sobeys gift card.
Can I mention that I made
no.
a little movie that kind of guides you through the tour?
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it's on the Amherstburg Caremongers.
Okay. On Facebook?
It's up there, and it's also on the Art Amherstburg website.
Oh, and do you narrate the video?
No, so Bonnie Dislep, who is the one of the directors
From the Gibson Gallery,
from the Gibson Gallery, she talks all about it. And there's also a map in the movie that you can trace what might be a good route to go through the different places. It starts at St Andrew's Church, if you were to follow that route, and it ends up at the Navy Yard. I think. Anyway, so just to say, there's a little movie. It's 6 minutes, but if you know nothing about the art crawl, it'll kind of clue you in very quickly. And also included in the movie are two very important sponsors of the event, the owners of Sobeys, so Rick and Krista Truan, and they're actually supplying the prize if you get the passport. They're supplying gift cards for the event.
Perfect. Thank you for that
Great.
interruption.
Yeah, and also there's also I did a story on the Unleashed tour specifically a couple of weeks ago. It's still up on our website, so just search for that on our website if you want more information. I believe the Freedom Museum is one of the stops, and a Marsh Collection is. They're having a photography exhibit, so there's stops in the building at 256 Dalhousie. The Owl's Nest is among there. The tourist booth I think is on there, and I know I'm missing some stops. So watch the movie as Terrence mentioned. And check out our website. It's and just search for the Unleashed tour on there. But that's just one of the events happening during the art crawl. We have again a story in this week's RTT, and hopefully you've been following the previous stories I've done in prior weeks. The junior art crawls on Sunday, full slate of events. So check it out at this week's RTT, and for that matter, previous issues of the Rivertown Times.
We also have an ad on page 2 with a QR code. So just on the inside of the paper there, page 2, there is an ad for the art crawl. Is there anything else this weekend, Renaud, that we want to... I can't think of anything.
I'm sure I'll probably think of something as we leave the studio, but as of right now, I'm sure there's more stuff as the week progresses. Obviously there's just the open air itself. There's the Park House, I know usually does a number of events. I believe there's actually one of the stops as well on the Unleashed tour, part of the art crawl. Their tinsmiths are always quite active at the Park House. Yeah, so just keep an eyes out and on speaking of socials, on our socials as well.
I have a special shout out because we'll be celebrating a special girl in my life. It's my daughter Aria's 9th birthday tomorrow on July 17th. So happy birthday, Aria. I'm excited to spend the weekend with you, hopefully swimming in our new pool and celebrating all that makes you so special. Happy
birthday, Aria, and have a very good day. And I wish you all the best. Happy birthday.
All right, so that about wraps it up for us. So have a great day, Amherstburg.
I give a special shout out to our driver Louise and her daughter Ashley as they drive around, delivering the papers to around Amherstburg, and they also have stops in Harrow, Essex, and LaSalle, filling up our newspaper boxes, stocking up our stores. So we want to give thanks to them, and we'll be back here on the airwaves of 107.9 The Berg, CKBG, next Wednesday at 12 noon, and the replay at 4:30 p.m.